So what is the root cause of psoriasis? Obviously, this is a very nuanced subject and there's a lot of potential factors that could be coming into play here. But with that said, I think this all can kind of be boiled down to oxidation and oxidative stress. If you're able to limit the amount of stress and inflammation that's occurring in your body, your skin health progression is really just a matter of time as you stick with your regimen and as you stay consistent with your diet and with your lifestyle habits. So what causes this oxidative stress? In this video, I really have 5 potential culprits I want to talk through with you guys and give you guys some hints for how to incorporate some things that can ultimately decrease the amount of oxidative stress that you're experiencing. So the first one is going to be diet. And of course, this is a constant staple topic on my page and on this channel. And if you want to decrease the amount of oxidative stress inside the body, the number one thing you want to turn to is diet and decreasing inflammation with your dietary habits. Of course, you got to stay away from the refined packaged products, processed foods, and the big one is these polyunsaturated oils, vegetable oils, seed oils. A lot of the blame gets placed on saturated fats and red meat and stuff like that, but when you look at the progression of history, heart disease and cancer really began to increase and get on the rise when we started introducing these oils for some reason in place of these ancestral animal fats. So when you go out to eat, most restaurants are going to be cooking in these oils, and of course when you go to the store, most of the products there are packaged refined products. And if you're following this page, you're probably already avoiding those things, but I want to make it a point, you really want to stay away from those vegetable oils. That is like the number one thing, the number one psoriasis trigger. And as I'm always saying, you got to figure out what foods work best for you and what macronutrient ratios work best for you. Once you figure that out, once you get your metabolic health trending in the right direction, the amount of inflammation in your body is going to go way down as your gut starts to easily and kind of seamlessly digest and assimilate the nutrients from your food. The second culprit I want to address here is drinking and smoking. So in past videos, I have covered this topic, and as you're probably aware, I do not demonize these things. I think within the context of a healthy lifestyle, they can be potentially beneficial. I don't think, smoking cigarettes is going to be good for anyone. Me, myself, I'll have some cigars and pipe tobacco. As you guys have probably seen, I don't inhale those things, so you definitely want to cut out cigarettes. If you overdo it, it's going to cause oxidative stress. Same with alcohol. My best advice for these two things is cut them out for as long as you possibly can. If you want to reverse the state of your gut health, you need to stay away from alcohol for a period of time. So take a month off, take 2 months off, and then slowly start to add it back in and rebuild a newer, healthier relationship with it. Like I'm saying, I think I'm someone, I like to go out with my friends, have a few drinks from time to time, and it's not a big issue because I don't overdo it. If you go out and you're partying all the time, getting intoxicated, several times a week, it's going to create a great amount of oxidative stress in your body. And even just doing it once or twice, will create stress in your body. But it's all about finding that sort of balance. So if you smoke cigarettes, definitely cut those out. If you drink alcohol, stay away from it for a while until your skin starts to clear up, and then start to slowly implement it back in if you do think that it has sort of emotional and social benefits for you. The third culprit is going to be pesticides and basically the chemicals that they use in modern agriculture. A lot of people, when they start to eat healthier, they'll be like, I'm going to eat more vegetables, and that's like their first go-to. But if you're not getting well-sourced stuff, organic vegetables, and even sometimes a lot of the organic stuff, it's sprayed with these pesticides and these chemicals that can cause an extreme amount of oxidation and inflammation in the body. So some people, they start eating more vegetables and they think they're doing a good thing, but in the long run, it's actually creating more stress inside of the body. And this is not to scare people off from vegetables. I think, they're a great food, but you want to get good quality sort of stuff. But this is just something you want to pay attention to. The way the agricultural industry works, it is not the most, there goes the cat, it's not the most ethical business. They're just trying to pump out as much crop as they possibly can. So get good quality vegetables, organic stuff, start a garden of your own in your yard if you can, but the pesticides, the NPK fertilizer, these are things that you definitely want to consider, and these are things that are causing a great amount of oxidation for a lot of us. The fourth culprit is going to be kind of outside environmental factors, things like pollution and electromagnetic fields, EMFs. These days with the 5G and things like that. It's just we are in a pool of EMFs, but we don't know necessarily the long-term effects of living amongst all this stuff. You know, we kind of keep getting torn further and further away from our natural state as humans, and we're having more and more technology kind of implemented into our lives. These are things you want to consider. You know, stay away. Don't spend all day on your phone. This is something I've struggled with myself, you know, because I work on my phone. I spend tons of time on my phone, but overdoing it with the technology and spending all this time in front of these screens, it can be horrible for you, especially mentally. And, you know, of course, not just that, just living here and being in the midst of all these EMFs can cause a lot of issues. You know, pollution, of course, is an issue. It's been an issue for a long time. And this all kind of boils down to, you know, the way our industrial makeup is. It's just kind of the way things work here. You know, we just keep destroying the earth, and it's making things more difficult for us in the long run in terms of our health. So there's not as much you can do about this. There are a lot of things you could look into. Of course, you know, getting out in the sunlight, getting out in nature, getting in touch with your roots as a human being is kind of my best advice for this one. But just the way the world's progressing, it's more and more difficult for each of us to stay healthy. And then the last potential culprit I want to touch on here is medications. So, you know, there's a lot of commercials for these biologics, you know, Humira, Stelara, all things like that. Those medications cause oxidative stress. And some people might take them and their skin clears up for a year or two. But if I had a nickel for every time that somebody came back and said, hey, my skin was really good for the first year of being on Humira, but now my hair is falling out and my skin broke out worse than it ever did before. It's because these drugs suppress the immune system and ultimately create, like I said, more oxidation in the body. And I don't want to completely hate on Western medicine. You know, there's uses for it. But to be honest, at the rate that these things are being prescribed, I think it's absolutely criminal. And of course, it's not just, you know, with these biologic injections. You know, if you're someone who's been on antidepressants for a long time, antibiotics are a big one, you know, and something that seems to trigger breakouts for a lot of people. Just be wary of these medications. The goal is not to be on medication for the rest of your life. If you reach a point where you need to get on a medication, that's okay, but your goal should be to get off of that medication and find ways to balance yourself naturally with your diet and with your lifestyle habits. So that's all I got for you guys in this one, and I just want to leave you with saying, do some research. Look into oxidation, oxidative stress, and certain things that you could do to minimize the impact of that. You know, some of my neurological health practices that I've talked about in previous videos can really help. Some of the supplements that I talk about in my supplement regimen video on my website can really help as well. But at the end of the day, as usual, it's about getting your diet and getting your lifestyle habits dialed in. If you're able to decrease the amount of stress and inflammation that you're feeling, like I said, your skin, it's going to clear up. And I think, you know, it's a lot of people focus heavily on diet, but you really have to look at all these factors and, you know, take inventory on the impact that they're having on your life and on your health. So like I said, that's all I got for you guys. As usual, use the link below to go to my website, naturalpsoriasishealing.com. Watch my free training video if you haven't done so yet. Apply for one-on-one coaching if you're looking for some structure and want to get results as fast as possible. Or you can watch my supplement regimen video that I mentioned